Walking isn't as easy as it used to be for Gloria Sanders. She spent much of this summer recovering from her second knee replacement. After 6 long weeks, she sees the light at the end of the tunnel. That's a much different outlook than 10 years ago when Hurricane Katrina hit.
There just didn't seem to be any immediate recovery from that. After Katrina, it's like, I don't know when this is going to be over.
We met Gloria in 2005, just days after the storm decimated the Gulf Coast.
The bottom number tells you that there were no bodies in the house. Everyone survived.
Thank God. Mine says 0 home, 0 dead. Thank you, Jesus. Because it could have been a different story.
Though she's now back on her feet and in her new home, it's been a long, hard road for all who decided to stay and rebuild.
The people of the past are survivors, and this is home for them. And there's just no getting that sense of home somewhere else.
It's a peaceful, hot, and sunny afternoon on this day in Pass Christian. It was a completely different story 10 years ago when Hurricane Katrina made landfall on August 29, 2005. It brought with it unrelenting winds that lasted 8 hours and a historic storm surge of 28 feet. The storm claimed the lives of 34 residents here in Pass Christian and nearly decimated the town.
I tell people it's the closest annihilation you can get to.
Most of the coverage focused on New Orleans, where flooding swamped 80% of the city. Smaller cities like Pass Christian didn't get much attention, even though the destruction was much greater.
Every church, every school, and every public building was either totally destroyed or unusable. Of all the homes in Pass Christian, only 300 were livable the next day.
Because literally we're seeing debris piles 15 to 20 feet high.
CBN News was among the first crews to make our way into the city, bringing national attention to the devastation. A decade later, there's new life here.
This is the new harbor, and this is the east end.
The mayor gave us a tour of the town affectionately known as the Pass by locals.
10 years and here we are.
That's right.
Which also survived Camille in 1969. Homes and churches have rebuilt. Businesses started to reopen. And people are back on the beach.
Everything we have is new. The infrastructure is new. The public buildings are new. So what we have is better than we had before. We just don't have as much of it.
But take a deeper look at Katrina's visible scars. Empty lots, bare foundations, fewer residents, and a seafood-driven economy still struggling to overcome not only the storm, but the BP oil spill as well. Then again, some changes can only be felt.
We had a sense of family. Everybody knew everybody. I knew everybody on my street before, and they're neighbors now that I don't know. There was just a sense of community that hasn't quite got back there yet.
5 miles west in Bay St. Louis, Lakeshore Baptist Church puts the finishing touches on its new building. The church delayed a new sanctuary to focus on serving people in the wake of the storm, a work that began in these makeshift tents.
Yes, ma'am.
It now operates this secondhand shop where customers are welcome to donated clothes, food, and trinkets, all free of charge.
Bibles, you name it. Everything, like you said, everything here is free.
That generosity made an impact on Ruth Boyd, who initially came to pick up things she needed when she moved back, but found much more.
I ended up joining the church and became a volunteer. It's the love of the community, the love of the people.
Pastor Don Elborn says while Katrina brought heartache and pain, it also opened the door to healing while serving others.
Seeing God use the folks in our church to help others and help our community has made our church stronger than it ever has been before.
His church alone, with the help of volunteer missions groups from across the country, has built more than 40 homes.
And that's a church of less than that number of members.
And while the region's population is still climbing back to pre-Katrina levels, some new transplants, like Pastor David Faulkner, now call the area home.
The very heart of the gospel, of course, for all of us, is that we're resurrection people. But it's a special place down here, and it really, in the parish and in the community, it's a resurrection story. There was death, there was destruction, and now there's more vibrant life than we could have imagined.
When it was time to part ways, we couldn't help but notice those we talked to wanted America to know one thing.
The greatest thing we learned from this is we were Americans, because we'd have been in this by ourselves, we would still be completely upside down. So the American people taught us that they're good everywhere. That was the first and foremost lesson.
I know our world's in a terrible shape right now. There's still compassionate people in the world.
We can not only just look at the people who in the past who had the determination to survive, but to all those people across the nation who've helped us, we have to say thank you, because we couldn't have done it on our own.
Demonstrating the resilience of a region through the strength and generosity of a nation. John Jessup, CBN News, Pass Christian, Mississippi.